Hello, my friends. We people are here to solve first questions. Some questions was given here, and these questions was asked in the previous year's papers. So we are going to solve these questions according to the available information, what we had and what we have in our minds. Now, first question is, which of the following was the immediate cause of the first Karnataka war? There are many more things which are given here, and as I took your first class, I just told you that feel the sound of the question, feel the sound of the words. So, which one of the following was the immediate cause? Immediate causes. So, immediate cause means that actual cause, that is actual cause which emerged as the cause of war. Actual cause, right? Immediate cause by which this war got fire. So, as we see, Anglo-French rivalry, when we talk about the first Karnataka war, the term Karnataka, you can see the Karnataka is defined as from C. It is written with C. Why this is written with C? But as we see in contemporary word in contemporary India, we see Karnataka with K. It starts with K. So why this starts with C? So reason C means that time Karnataka was consist of some parts of Tamil Nadu, some parts of Karnataka, some parts of Andhra. So as that was very big part of India, and why we assume as the first Karnataka war, because the source of this war was situated in Karnataka at that time of Karnataka. So Anglo-French rivalry, Austrian War of Succession, issues of Karnataka succession, capture of French ships by British. All these factors are right. All these factors, all these causes are right. Anglo-French rivalry, yes, of course, the Anglo-French rivalry is known as the Karnataka War. Three Karnataks war were fought that time, and first was between Britishers and French. So Anglo-French rivalry, yes. Austrian War of Succession, yes. These were some reasons. Issues of Carnatic succession and capture of French ships by British. So here the term is described the immediate cause. So what was the immediate cause? So immediate cause was the capture of French ships by the British. That was the immediate cause by which this war took place. This war took place between 1746 to 1408. Two powers were there. First one was Britishers, another was French. And in first Karnataka war, French got advantage. French got advantages because the policy of duplex was dominant, and whatever the policy he adopted, that was the first policy for a subsidiary alliance treaty, which later was introduced by Lord Wellesley. In principally, that's that subordinate policy was introduced by duplex, but it could not take the official place. It could not take the official policy of French company. So later, it was introduced by Lord Wellesley in 1798. But when we talk on behalf of the principal, that was principally used by Duplay. So that was the immediate cause, right? So this was our first question. In first Karnataka war, French got advantages. Now, we talk about with reference to the Treaty of Alexapol 1748, which of the following statement is or correct? So as there was war between 1746 to 48, I told you that in war, more than two parties might be involved. In this war, it happened so. There was two parties like BNA, you may write, and another was DCM. B means Britishers, N means Nasir Jung for Hyderabad. He was claiming he wanted to be a successor of Hyderabad, and this was Anwaruddin, and you know this means Britishers. And on second side, D means duplex, C means Chanda Sahib, M means Muzaffar Jung, DCM. So these three party members were on another side, and first side there was BNA. So in first Karnataka war, French got advantages. So this was the result of European war between the French and Britishers. And in Europe, if a war took place in any part of the world, so it copied by other parts of the world where two companies, Britishers and French, they were prominent power. So they started fighting with each other, right? So this was the war which was present in every part of the world between two countries, British and France. So at the end of the war, always there was always a treaty. So that war was ended by this treaty, a la Chapelle, in 1748. That treaty took place in Europe, and as a result, these two companies, these two countries, they stopped fighting with each other. So this was the result why they stopped in India. So the Karnataka War, this is right. This one was right. The England got back Madras. What happened in first Karnataka War? As Britishers tried to seize Pondicherry, so at that time Dupleix seized the Madras by his troops, by his naval power. So Britishers had to lose the Pondicherry to get back Madras. So after the time the English got back Madras, this is also right. So 1 and 2 are right. So here we can see, select the correct answer. So C is the right answer where both 1 and 2 are right. Both 1 and 2 are right because these two statements are correct. Now we proceed on the third question. French East India Company was constituted during the reign of. Okay, as you know, the French company was the last European company came to India, right? Which came to India in term of chronology of all European companies. So that was introduced and established in 1664, right? When there was a king, Louis XIV, Louis XIII, Louis XV, and Louis XVI. So that was the phase of Louis Louis 14. Louis 14. So that was the time, and he was the king of France who gave permission to establish company for to trade in India. So Louis 14, his statements is so famous that he claimed that I am the state. I am the state. That question also had been asked in question paper. So that was the statement made by Louis XIV. And at the time of French East India Company, Louis XIV was the king of France. And you know, all major companies was established by entrepreneurs, but this was the company established by the king. So that was the government company. French East India Company was the government company because Louis XIV gave consent and he gave all money, he gave all related consent. So the money involved to establish that company was from Louis XIV. So there, Louis XIV was the king at the time of establishment of the French East India Company. Which of the following factories of Bengal was established by Dutch? You know, Dutch were great enemies to Portuguese. Portuguese came to India in 1498, but if we talk about the Dutch, they came to India in 1602. So that was the difference, right? When we talk about Bengal, so Dutch, they established many factories in Bengal like Shirampur, no, Hooghly, no, Chunsura, no, the Bandel. Bandel was the right answer. Now we move to another question. During British rule, which region of India was famous for the protection of opium? Opium, you know how and why this opium was used. So Britishers, they were using this opium as the tool of war for China. So as you know, there was also a war of China, yeah, opium war with China. So Assam, no. Gujarat, no. Southern India, no. But Bihar. Britishers, they established to produce opium in Bihar. Who among the following Europeans was the last to came to pre-independence India as traders? Now we can see Dutch, they came to India in 1602, English 1608, French 1664, and Portuguese 1498. You can compare all these with 4 dates, so you can get the last company established in 1664 was French East India Company. French East India Company. Right? That is the right answer. Now we move to other question. Assessment of land revenue of the basis of nature of the soil and the quality of crops. Which of the above was and were introduced in India by Britishers? One, assessment of land revenue on the basis of nature of the soil and the quality of crops. Actually, previously, in previous time, Mughal also introduced this system, the quality of crops. But basis of the nature of soil, you know, that is question is related with the type of land, or barren land, fertile land, like so there were many nature of lands. So basis of nature of soil that was introduced by the Mughal, use of mobile cannons in warfare, and cultivation of tobacco and red chilies. So basically, cultivation of tobacco, use of mobile cannons in warfare. So that is right answer. Use of mobile cannons, but the first point is not correct because Mughal also adopted this policy. They set and they fix revenue on the basis of nature of soil, right, and the quality of crops. So that was previously that was present in previous Mughal period. Use of mobile cannons in warfare, that is right, and cultivation of tobacco and red chilies. This is also right. Two things, but sometime cultivation of tobacco and red chilies that was introduced in India by Portuguese. Portuguese. That was introduced by Portuguese. But all 2 points are clear because later Britishers also used to cultivate tobacco, right? So these 2 and 3, these answers are right. With reference to the causes of success of British and failure of French, we are talking about the result of Karnataka War because 3 Karnataka War took place at that time. First one was from 1746 to 48, another uh, 1749 to 54, and another 1758 to 63. These three Anglo-Karnataka War took place in different dates. So the causes of the success of British and the failure of French, it means there were some causes, there were some results. So we are talking about the result of the Karnataka War, all Karnataka War, and how finally Britishers got succeed, how the French were defeated, although French got advantages in first Karnataka War in 1746 to 48, I told you earlier. But at that, you can see there were the result of Karnataka War. Result of Karnataka War. At the end of the war, Britishers got succeeded, and French lose the war. They were defeated. They lose some areas. So how many points are right? Correct. Getting huge wealth and manpower from conquest of Bengal by British. That was the first point and very important point. Britishers occupied whole Bengal and they established active revenue system and passive revenue system from Bengal. They they got Jamidari of Calcutta in 1698. So from that time, they were collecting some passive income where they had not to invest any money, they had not to invest their officials also. So, and in opposite side, you can see French French established themselves in the southern part of India, especially the Pondicherry, which was not so prosperous area, right? Not so fertile area. So this was the difference why the question was asked in the mains also. The Britishers got the golden key from Bengal and the French got nothing. So that was the question asked in mains also. So first point is right, correct, right, that Britishers got the most prosperous area, that was the Bengal, and Bengal was consisted of Assam, some parts of Assam, Bangladesh, contemporary Bengal, some parts of Bihar, right? So, and some parts of Odisha also. So that Bengal was so big, right? So there was always a fight for Bengal, always in Mughal period also, in Sultanate period also. Some officials of Sultan, some officials of Mughal, they always try to get independence. They always try to set them as autonomous state. So this was happening every time, but Bengal was finally captured by the Britishers. They started exploiting the Bengal, like they were getting some agriculture produces like jute, sugar, rice, indigo, many more things from Bengal. And similarly, they were getting passive income like land revenue, right? Some taxes. So first point is quite good. And another, naval superiority of the British. As you know, at that time, the British naval got first rank in the world. They were considered the most powerful naval army because, you know, if you consider the geographical position of British, so that is surrounded by the sea. So that is so easy that their naval power was best in the world. So all those 2 points are correct, both 1 and 2. So this is the right way to compare the question. If you know the exact sound of the word, sound of the sentence, sound of the special that paragraph, special lesson, so you may feel the right interpretation. So this is the real cause by which we compare all the aspects, all the points with each other. Clear? These 2 points are quite good. So if you get the result, you get the causes, responsible factor for failure, responsible factor for success. So both things are there. So these 2 points both are correct. Which of the following European trading company was the first to establish its factory at the Surat? We are talking about the Surat, you know. So the Dutch, no. The Portuguese, no. But English, English, they got first factory established in Surat. So English is the right answer by getting the permission of uh, Jahangir. Later, that was established in Surat. They started trading in Surat. Surat was the most famous place as it is right now. So after English, French also established their factories in Surat by Franco Caro, right? But English was the first. They established first factory in Surat. Bombay was taken over by the English East India Company from whom? Dutch, French, Danish, and Portuguese. It means in previous times, Britishers never got the Bombay. At that time, Bombay was known as the name of the province. You may note it down. That was not the name of the center of the place, not the name of city, not the name of town. At that time, Bombay was known as the name of the province, right? And Bombay, Bombay was under Portuguese. As you know, there was a princess like Catherine, Catherine, Catherine Braganza. That was Portuguese princess. When she got married with British prince. So later, British prince got Bombay as a dowry, and that prince surrendered Bombay to the East India Company for 10 pound per annum. So later, Britishers got control over Bombay. That was the dowry settlement. In first quarter of 17th century, in which of the following were the factories of the English East India Company located? We are talking about its first quarter of 17th century. There are many questions. So if we consider 17th century, it means time of 17th century start from 1601 to 1700. So this is the real fact. You may note it down how the century is calculated. In the first quarter of 17th century, it means the first quarter of 17th century may consider from 1601 to 1625. 25 years, first 25 years. And we are talking about 17th century. It means when East India Company came to in India, 1608, and we are talking about for India, Bharoch, Chikakole, and Trichinopalli. So select the correct answer using this. So Bharoch, Trikole, and Trichinopalli. So Trichinopalli was not established was not established from 1601 to 1625. That was Bharoch and Chikole. These two answers are correct. Which English governor of East India Company in India was expelled by Aurangzeb? This is really answer. This really is the answer because Ongier, Sir John Child, Sir John Gare, Sir Nicholas Fate. There are four names. So as you know, Aurangzeb ruled Delhi and later India from 1628 to 58. Is it right? No. That is the time period of Shah Jahan. Then Aurangzeb ruled in India from 1658 to 1707. That is the phase when Aurangzeb ruled India. So Iyengar, Sir John Child, Sir John Gare, and Nicholas Fate. So that was Sir John Child. He was expelled from Aurangzeb because Britishers started fighting with Mughals also, and you know Mughals were so dangerous and powerful. So the phase of 80s, 1680s, they had a fight with Mughals, and you know Aurangzeb was so powerful, and he expelled that person. So that was quite enough for today. Tomorrow or later tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll meeting and we'll try to solve some more question answers, some more topics. So thank you for being with me.